Number 34, Manuel Apricio. Number 41, Mo Babuli. Number 42, Massimo Mirabelli. And now, TFC2 fans, please welcome today's starting lineup, led by head coach Jason Benz. Goalkeeper number 40, Quinlan Roberts. Number 32, Wesley Sharkey. Number 33, Skylar Thomas. Number 59, Amiga Onye. Number 44, Mark Anthony Kay.
This afternoon, Toronto FC2 is back home following a midweek loss to their rivals in Montreal. They'll take on a struggling Eastern Conference team, the Richmond Kickers, looking to get back on track. Anthony Osorio makes his first start at home. He is joined in the starting lineup by the captain, Chris Manella. He is back down with TFC2 after a stint with the first club. And also in the lineup, it is Jay Chapman. He has not played for Toronto FC2 since May 9th against Rochester. Hello everyone, welcome to the Ontario Soccer Centre in Vaughan. I'm Matt Nicolantonio, joined by Chantal Blais. This afternoon it's Toronto FC2 against the Richmond Kickers, and let's take a look at the starting 11. For Toronto FC2, Quillan Roberts is back in between the pipes. Wesley Sharkey makes his first start since June 27th. He has come in as a reserve in each of the last two games. As mentioned, Anthony Osorio making his first start at home. Chris Manella and Jay Chapman back. And Boubacar Joby, he has been signed by Toronto FC2 last week, and he will make his first appearance. For the Richmond Kickers, they are led up front by Jason Yeasley. He leads the team with 11 goals. That's good for fourth in the USL. On Wednesday, Toronto traveled to Montreal, and they dropped a 2-1 decision in the third installment of 4 of the 401 Derby. They conceded a goal on a penalty in the opening 10 minutes, then they allowed another early in the second half. We take a look at the penalty here. This was about 8 minutes in, and Quillan Roberts, he gets the right direction, just was not able to get to it and make the save. That gives Montreal the 1-0 lead early in the match. Then this is early in the second half, and it is a second goal for Montreal. A little bit of a defensive breakdown in the back, and a nice header converted there by Montreal to give them a 2-goal advantage in the second half. Toronto was able to pull themselves to within 1. In stoppage time of the second half, the Montreal keeper illegally handles the ball, so it's an indirect free kick from inside the penalty area, and Chris Manella is able to convert. That's his first pro goal, and it's the second match in a row for Toronto where their only goal has come in injury time of the second half. Today, it is the Richmond Kickers. It's the first meeting between these two clubs ever, and they'll square off again on September 16th in Richmond. Chantal, all of the momentum that Toronto FC2 built up with the dramatic victory over Charleston 3 weeks ago and a draw in the friendly against AS Roma Primavera, that's all evaporated with these last 3 losses in the last 3 games. How do they get it moving in the right direction again?
That's exactly a keyword, momentum. This team needs to regain momentum and find something to build off. It starts in the back, defensively, stay tight and not allow breakdowns where teams can capitalize. They got to be focused from the get-go. They can't wait those 10-15 minutes to settle into these matches. And lastly, smarter decisions in the final third. Keep taking the shots and keep creating the scoring opportunities. The last 2 matches they got on the board, and if they are able to do this earlier and keep that focus for the 90 minutes, they'll be able to maybe snap this 3-game losing streak.
Richmond comes to town with just 2 victories in their last 10 going back to June 13th. They're in a playoff spot right now. They're jockeying for position. They've really been buoyed by an incredible start that they had. Who are some of the players on the Kickers that we should be keeping an eye on this afternoon?
You touched on him earlier. One player TFC will need to watch is Jason Yeasley. The forward currently leads Richmond with the 11 goals this season. Most recently scored twice in his last match, both on penalty kicks. So defensively, keep sharp and no silly fouls. While they need to focus on him, they must also keep eyes on striker Matt Delicate. He has 6 goals on the season, tied for second.
Richmond comes into this contest 3 wins, 4 losses, and 5 draws as the visitors. Toronto kicking off a 5-game homestand. This is their final homestand of the season. After their finale here on September 5th, they will conclude their inaugural campaign with 4 games on the road. As mentioned, Richmond, they had a very hot start to the season. They began with 6 wins and 4 draws to 2 losses. So points in 10 of their first 12 games. But since that point, as we mentioned, just 2 victories in the last 10 with a few draws sprinkled in as well. So this is a team that they are also looking to try and grab some of their momentum back there. Not firmly entrenched in a playoff spot right now, but they're in one right now. And so they're fighting off some teams behind them and trying to work themselves up. So while the record the last 10 games might indicate maybe an even opponent, this is definitely going to be a team that's hungry this afternoon.
They'll definitely be strong, and yes, they had a back-to-back their last 2 games, and they did draw against the Rochester Rhinos, who are the top in the Eastern Conference. So Toronto FC will be a challenge, but I think we're in store for some exciting football.
Yeah, you mentioned Chantal. They actually played, very rare for a football club, they played on back-to-back days last weekend. They had a loss and a draw, so a little bit of tough luck, and they had to go and play the best team in the league with less than 24 hours rest. And as you mentioned, they were able to come out with a point. So this afternoon will conclude their 3-game road trip. We'll have a little bit more ahead of the match just following the national anthems.
At this time, we ask you to please rise, remove your hats for the national anthems.
A scorcher this afternoon here in Toronto as Toronto FC2 looks to snap a 3-game losing streak. We touched on the players in the starting 11 for Toronto. Let's touch on a few who are not in the lineup or not even available tonight. And we'll start with defenders. Daniel Fabrizi, he is deemed healthy. He's able to return from an injury that he sustained earlier in the season. But head coach Jason Bent said he's available, but he will not be in the starting 11 or on the reserves list for this afternoon's game. Adam Bouchard not on the reserve list either. He is still not healthy. He sustained an ankle injury 2 weeks ago against Louisville City. Massimo Mirabelli, he is back in the on the lineup sheet. He is listed as a reserve, and I imagine we will see him today. Mo Mabuli, a little bit of a surprise. Second consecutive game he's coming off the bench, but that's a dangerous weapon for Jason Bent to be able to utilize off the bench.
Yeah, he can put him in. Seeing how the game goes, kind of feel it, especially with the return of Chapman and Manella. Put them together. They are familiar with playing each other, so playing with each other. So have them out there, and it's always good to get Mo out there later on in the game. And
at least according to the lineup sheet this afternoon, looks like Toronto going with a bit of a different formation. Jordan Hamilton, the only listed striker, so that's something a little bit different that we haven't seen from Jason Bent this season.
Yeah, and that's also, I agree with doing that because this is a team they aren't familiar with playing. This is the first time, so why not change your style of play? They won't know what to expect, and it seems like he is kind of playing a 4-5-1 formation, so we'll see how that works out for them.
So we are just moments away from the kickoff here in Toronto. TFC2 in the all-red kits, and the Richmond Kickers are in the black uniforms from head to toe. And perhaps another reason why Jason Bent going with a little bit more of a defensive strategy is that Richmond, the third highest scoring team in the Eastern Conference, at least 37 goals scored on the season. They do concede a little bit more than some of the teams that Toronto has been playing in recent weeks. They've gone through a really rough stretch of their season. Outside of Montreal earlier this week, they've played a lot of the top clubs in the Eastern Conference over the last several weeks. But a great boost to the lineup this afternoon to get Jay Chapman back, Chris Manella back as well. They are both playing in their first matches here at the Ontario Soccer Centre. And this should be a strong afternoon for TFC2. Jordan Hamilton, a little bit snake bitten this season. You know he wants to get back onto the score sheet. He had a goal 2 weeks ago against Louisville, a header in the 80th minute that pulled Toronto back to within one in a game they ultimately lost 3-2. And Chris Manella will get the first touch there for Toronto. Played back to Amika Ononye, who is the left center back in this formation this evening. This afternoon, I should say. Just past 3 o'clock local time here in Toronto as we are underway at the Ontario Soccer Centre. Mark-Anthony Kay will control for Toronto. Osorio making his first start in this building for the Baby Reds. And you know his older brother Jonathan, very proud of him. Jonathan, of course, with the first team. They are in New York for a big Eastern Conference showdown with the New York Red Bulls this evening, as the first team looking to solidify themselves in a playoff position in MLS. Skylar Thomas plays that long ball up the right flank. It's run onto for a moment by Buba Jobi, and he will scoop that over to a teammate to throw in. That's Wesley Sharpie. He is making his first start at the Ontario Soccer Centre as well. His last start came on June 27th in a 1-0 victory against Wilmington. That played at BMO Field. As mentioned, he has been used as a sub in the last 2 games. This is his first start since collecting that injury. There's a nice play by Chapman for Hamilton. Looked like he was trying to find Bernal with a through ball, but he fanned on the pass. Toronto still with possession, however. There's Chapman. Chapman looking to dish. It is blocked. Now Osorio plays it onto the left flank for Mark-Anthony Kay. Kay will work his way back towards the middle. That's Chapman. Now Skylar Thomas, as Toronto is pushing forward in the early stages. Wesley Sharpie, Jobi. That pass easily taken by Skylar Thomas. Chris Manella, a presence that has sorely been missed for Toronto in recent weeks. He returned to the lineup on Wednesday after a short stint with the first team, sort of filling in for Michael Bradley, who was injured. He didn't see any playing time, but was used on the bench, and really able to use that experience as, I'm sure, a valuable learning experience for him being up in the MLS for a couple of weeks.
It was, and when I talked to him a couple of days ago, he said your main goal is to, yes, you want to play with the first team, but he was so thankful and so happy he had the opportunity, and he was very excited to kind of bring that back and share that experience with these younger guys.
And Jay Chapman as well. He's been up with the first team since early May. This is his first game with CFC2 since May 9th. He did get some game action with the first club as well. So he has been around those professional players for a couple months now, and that is definitely valuable experience he'll be able to bring down. And Toronto, you know, the first club with bringing in a new defender like Williams and a couple other players coming back from injury, just a case of not enough roster spots. And for a while, I thought Jay Chapman might be a guy that we wouldn't see again this season, but here he is this afternoon. Sharpie able to step up for a moment to free that up for Toronto. Hamilton thought about touching it and then left it for Chapman, who sort of steamrolls Michael Callahan. And Richmond able to switch it into Toronto territory. Skylar Thomas. Sharpie. There's Manella. Ononye. Ononye with Skylar Thomas in the middle of that back line really add a lot of size for Toronto as a defensive unit. That's thrown into Travis Wara. He's the starting goalkeeper for the Kickers this afternoon. 8 games played, a very neat 1.0 goals against average and a .731 save percentage. He's collected 2 victories in his 8 appearances this season. Moving forward, Yudai Imura. He will swing it out wide to the left. That's Bentic who has crossed it in, and it came down to Matthew Delicate for a moment. And it was cleared by Toronto, and this will go for a deep throw in to the Kickers.
That looked like a little bit of a communication mishap, and that's something that in recent games they've been capitalized against, and that's something that they need to start working out.
Thrown in, headed away by Thomas. And Bernal there looking to collect it. That's off the hand of Jordan Hamilton. The Kickers cry for the foul, and they do get it, and it's a good call by the official, and will give the Kickers a free kick from maybe 25, 28 yards out. It'll be Fred Owusu Sekieri who will stand over it for the Kickers. Just to his right is number 23, Sasha Goris. Just past 5 minutes played here at the Ontario Soccer Centre. And this free kick, it is taken there by Gores. Looked like it was going to be Owusu Sekieri who was going to take it, so some good trickery from the Kickers. And they still haven't cleared Have Toronto, and this one is booted well over the goal. Only right-footed volley coming there from Jason Yisley. Have you visited the new USLsoccer.com? Get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub. One of the bigger crowds we have seen on hand at the Ontario Soccer Centre this season. And the very vocal supporters club, the Inebriati, also known as the Ultras. They are out in full force with the flags and the drums, and they are making a lot of noise out in the Richmond defending territory right now. And I expect to hear them in the background of the broadcast all afternoon. And you know these players in red want to give them something to cheer about. Ononye. Manella. Thomas. Thomas lofts that forward, hoping to connect with Jordan Hamilton. Unable to do so. And it's Wara who will collect. Hugh Roberts. Not to be confused with the Toronto goalkeeper, Q Roberts. And Quillen Roberts, I expect to see Roberts very motivated this afternoon. He's given up 7 goals in the last 3 matches, all losses. And you know that he thinks he is better, more capable of better play. So I expect a strong game out of the Toronto keeper. As Chapman pushes forward with good speed. Chapman runs into a teammate there, that's Joby. And now he will give it back to Chapman. Chapman crosses in, Mark-Anthony Kay was pushed forward. It's taken down by a defender, but it's won back by Osorio. Kay, one touch back for Osorio, and Kay once more. Kay switches wide to the right for Bernal. Bernal looking for Hamilton in the middle. It's off the foot of a defender, I believe, but it is smothered by the goalkeeper. And he will quickly move it out to his right. That's Braden Troyer, wearing number 31, who will push it forward for the Kickers. That's the deflection right off of Jay Chapman, and one back in good position by Toronto. Osorio up looking for Joby. That is off the head of Bentic. Pulled down by Sharpie. Chapman, excuse me, that's Manella. There's Mark-Anthony Kay. Ononye. Skylar Thomas and Wesley Sharpie on that right side of the Toronto defensive line. Ononye. Chapman. Chapman chipping forward. Osorio out of the reach of that one. It's taken by Yambi, and that's given away to Kay. Kay indecisive on his first touch, but he is able to regain it. Manella, much more sure of himself, and plays it over to Skylar Thomas. Sharpie, Joby. Joby pushing forward. Joby, he is bumped off the ball there. Excellent defense there from the Kickers. But it's won back by Hamilton, and it's going to be a foul on Jordan Hamilton as he nudged Michael Callahan off the ball there, creating an opportunity for Jay Chapman. Good call there, Chantel?
I feel like it was a bit of a soft call. I didn't really think that was that serious of a call, but I guess he's setting the pace, making that, I guess that was the first or second foul of the game, so taking control of his game as the ref.
That's headed down by Delicate, and it's taken by Owusu Sekier. And that is out for a corner here for the Kickers. And despite, you know, a deep throw-in, a deep free kick, and now this corner, I really feel like Toronto's had the majority of the possession. Nothing to show for it in terms of scoring opportunities, but they've been controlling the pace inside the Richmond end of the field.
Definitely, and it's nice to see the past couple games they've been picking one side and kind of staying to that side. It's been 10 minutes. They've switched the ball very nicely both sides and have been attacking from both sides, so that's promising. And
that's headed off the bar and now cleared by Roberts, and an excellent opportunity there for the Kickers. And how did that one stay out? It was headed off the bar, it came down, it looked like it was labeled for the goal. I think it hit the turf just in front of the goal line, and then Quillen Roberts just swiped it with that right paw and was able to clear it off the line. And we will do our best to get a replay look of that one. There's a break in the action next. And there's another look at it. Off the bar, off the turf, and then cleared out. Toronto had it for a moment in the Richmond territory, but they are dispossessed and now cleared by Richmond. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. So Chantal, I guess you could say Toronto catches a little bit of a break there that looked like a ball that 99 times out of 100, that ball finds its way into the back of the net.
From that replay angle, I thought it was in, but I don't know how Hugh got on that, but he cleared it, and luckily for them, they can regain possession and start building from the back again.
And the mesh did move, so there may have been contact with the frame of the goal. There was contact with the frame of the goal. We know the ball hit the crossbar, and I guess that creates the movement of the mesh, and that may have been why Richmond thought they had one. But the referee right there, the line judge right there as well. That's an Aggressive play by Skylar Thomas. And now it's going to be a foul against the Kickers player. And his good, strong defense there from Skylar Thomas as he is able to knock Matthew Delicate off the ball. Delicate, actually, correction, that's Jason Usley, number 17. He's sort of wondering how that wasn't a penalty with the foul in that spot.
It was strong defensive play by Skylar Thomas. He got stuck in. It was ball contact first, so I wasn't really surprised by the call. I think Usley just kind of stayed on top of the ball. That's why he got a call against him.
So almost a quarter of an hour played here. It's a lively pace to this game so far. Stark contrast from what we saw a week ago with Pittsburgh in town, and that game just really never got going in terms of pace of play. But these two teams showing a little bit more of it here this afternoon. As mentioned, very warm out there today, occasionally a breeze, but not a whole lot of it. And so the players dealing with a lot of heat, and when it bounces off that turf, that can create some problems as well.
Definitely. I wouldn't be surprised also if they do call water breaks in this game. It is super hot, especially from where we are. I couldn't imagine being on the pitch right now.
Chapman for Joby. Joby, now Hamilton. Hamilton not able to get a good first touch to it. It was right in his feet, caught off guard a little bit. I think maybe he expected Joby to have a go at goal from that distance, and that may have been the better decision.
I'd agree with you. I think you're right outside the 18-yard box. Why not try for it? Maybe his first game jitters, doesn't know if he should take that or pass it off to a player, but in that instance, take the shot.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic when you have a player joining a team mid-season. He doesn't want to sort of be labeled as a very selfish player, and at times you can also become too selfless, trying to find your teammates too much, where they'll tell you, hey, if it's a good scoring opportunity, you don't need to try and make friends by passing the ball. You know what makes friends on a new team is scoring goals.
Exactly, but I think not even Joby, I think Toronto sometimes is plagued with their decision-making if they should either take the shot, take the player on, or pass it. It's improved in the last couple games, but that's something that make the decision earlier and just 100% commit to it.
And it's definitely something that Coach Jason Bent has been harping all season, at least to us in the media availability. He said better decision-making in the attacking third and making the decision to have a shot as opposed to make one too many passes. And that's something that's going to come with experience with this team. Have to remember a lot of young players who are still learning at the professional level.
For sure.
Troyer will carry it out for the Kickers. Dishes off to teammate Hugh Roberts, and now collected by Willem Yambi. And this is Roberts once more. Blocked there by Jordan Hamilton, able to win it back. And a smart defensive play there from Troyer, is able to poke it away. Roberts takes a slip. Chapman going in, looking for it, and one of the two has been whistled for a foul here, and it will be a Richmond free kick. But Toronto has definitely been aggressive in pursuit of the ball this afternoon. We've seen that a couple of times, that a attempt to go deep downfield is deflected at the first level by a Toronto player. Most recently we saw it from Jordan Hamilton, and Jay Chapman has done that at least once as well.
And that comes with high pressing, and having the addition of Jay Chapman on there, he seems to be the one that's kind of leading that offensive push, which is promising for them. And I think he's helping Jordan Hamilton kind of position himself higher up the field, which is great for that through ball that they do sometimes try to get to him.
This comes in, Delicate plays in for Yisley. Yisley's able to shake off some defense. He's able to get a shot away, but it's easily handled by Quillen Roberts. Good defense there from Toronto. Yisley got the separation there to win the ball and get the shot away, but surrounded by a wall of defenders, never really was going to be that dangerous. As you can see, he's got two guys right in his face and really a very small window to work through. There's Skylar Thomas. Manella. Sharpie. Bernal. Mononye, and now Osorio. Kay. Kay, cross in. It's out off ahead of Roberts. Comes right to Manella. Manella chipping in. Kay plays down for Chapman, but it's Callahan who gets there first for Richmond. Now played for Troyer, and Troyer will be able to clear to midfield. And Skylar Thomas will play it all the way back for Quillen Roberts. Manella. Chapman. Manella again, right at midfield. Now he'll push it forward. It's Mark Anthony Kay who will retrieve it. Good defense there. Good press from Troyer, and now he will walk it up himself. Dishes for Yisley, and Richmond controlling at midfield with Owusu Sekieri. Crossed in, that's off the foot of Joby. Now Manella. Joby. Joby carrying up. Now Bernal. Sharpie. Hamilton. One touch looking for Joby, and out of his reach. And Richmond will send it back to the goalie. It's Travis Wara. Roberts. With pressure from Bernal, that's Gorez, who's able to find a teammate. Callahan. Nearing 20 minutes played here in Toronto. We're still looking for our first goal between Toronto FC 2 and the Richmond Kickers. Mark Anthony Kay will retrieve that for Toronto. Chapman able to flick it over his head and right onto the boot of Anthony Osorio. Chapman through the middle, and that's an offside flag on Sal Bernal.
That was a good defensive play by Richmond. They saw Bernal was high, made the call, and they've all moved back on him in the offside position.
Follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider, join club conversations, and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. Goris. Goris again. Left foot cross in. Off the head of Yisley, and that's out for a goal kick. Manella. On the near side for Chapman. He brought it down, but a little bit too far from himself and then slipped, and Troyer was able to pounce on it and gain the possession for the Kickers. Hamilton able to win that away from Yambi. Hamilton with an opportunity here for Toronto, waiting for teammates to join him. There's Chapman. Chapman, Joby, cleared out for Osorio. Osorio tries to cross in. It is blocked. Now Mark Anthony Kay. Kay able to get around his man. He'll cross in. It's a header, and it's a save. Jay Chapman with the header, and Wara is able to get the hands up and knock it away. And Jay Chapman still with hands on head in disbelief. Now here's a chance for Joby. And his pass a little bit too far for a teammate, and it's out of bounds. Cross comes here from Mark Anthony Kay, and it's perfect for Jay Chapman. Off the ground and then off the hands of the keeper.
Kay, great job being patient, strong on the ball, getting that crossover, perfect positioning. Chapman connects well, but great save there.
Manella taken down with a foot there, and he's won a free kick for Toronto. And as we get close to halfway through this first half, you mentioned earlier, Chantal, I have to wonder if we will be taking a scheduled water break here. It is extremely warm here this afternoon. There is very little cloud cover above the pitch right now, so nothing stopping that sun from coming right down. Chapman will take the free kick. It's played in, and it's off a Richmond player in the box. Calls for a handball. I'm not sure there was one there. What did you see, Chantal?
I thought it was, but it was unintentional. Refs call it differently, and I don't think he was going to make that play where it would be TFC awarded a penalty shot.
Troyer will play that upfield. Anonye will head that out of bounds, and looks like he got an elbow up in the face of Yisley. Yisley still rolling around on the turf, and now Anonye has played it out of bounds. And the Richmond Kickers leading scorer has got his hands to the face. And from up here, it looked like a pretty obvious, well, it's definitely a contact with the elbow, but I'm not totally sure that's a deliberate play there by Anonye going up. Maybe a little bit careless.
Careless for sure, but I wouldn't say it was very intentional or full contact in a malicious way. He seems to be getting up and okay.
We'll use this as sort of an unofficial water break, as all players on the pitch head over to the sidelines to grab a drink. We are just shy of 25 minutes here in the opening half. We are still scoreless in Toronto at the Ontario Soccer Centre. It's Matt DiNicolantonio and Chantal Blake bringing you the action this afternoon. And we will get a little bit of a break momentarily as a cloud has pulled in and a little bit of a breeze picks up, and this is one of the more relief-filled moments of the afternoon that we've felt here. As even in just those last 5 minutes, it felt like it got even warmer.
And the breeze that was there earlier was definitely gone. It's definitely a scorcher out there.
Sometimes need to be a meteorologist in this job as well. The forecast as late as last night said 40% chance of thunderstorms. Woke up this morning to not a cloud in the sky, and definitely no rain clouds in the area. It's a great day for football, and we are thankful to be keeping a pretty good record of no inclement weather for our broadcast so far this season. Knock on wood, of course. Osorio and Skylar Thomas. Osorio again. Richmond pulled back quite a bit here, allowing Toronto to get to half. Okay, dispossessed there by Owusu Sakir. Hamilton. Now Bernal. Bernal played through for Hamilton, and he sends it just wide. He's able to run onto it. Hamilton, Chapman. Chapman still with it. Chapman with a shot. Great save by Travis Wara. Another 10-bell scoring opportunity for Jay Chapman, and he is in disbelief as Toronto will look to press again. Manella bringing it in. Here's Chapman. Chapman will have a go, and it's his wide of the goal.
Chapman shaking his head again in disbelief. How did he save that? But once again, great effort by Hamilton. Kind of a heavy touch, able to keep the ball, able to keep possession, get across in. Once again, huge save by Wara.
It seems like Jason Bennett has all season been looking for another striker or an attacking midfielder to complement Jordan Hamilton. I think he's found it with Jay Chapman. Of course, Jay Chapman hasn't been available to him since early May, but this is the best chemistry I've seen between Jordan Hamilton and a teammate so far this season.
Their off-the-ball movement with each other works like clockwork. We've seen in other games before kind of Jordan either apologizing because he wasn't running where the ball was going, or the ball was going where Jordan wasn't. Today it's working. It's been 20, almost half an hour, and we've seen two really great opportunities.
Manella played through the middle for Chapman. Chapman is able to momentarily sidestep his defender, Hugh Roberts, but was not able to bring the ball with him, and while he tried to collect it, Roberts was able to get back and get a foot to it. Now it's a free kick won here by the Kickers. And it will be Michael Callahan. Callahan wears the captain's armband for the Kickers. And he will play this short for Sasha Goris. Imura goes down there with Manella providing the defense, and it will be a free kick for the Kickers. Do you call that a free kicker?
Comedian, ladies and gentlemen.
Free kick to Richmond here. Let's go with that. And once again, it is going to be Owusu Sekir and Sasha Goris, who are both standing over the ball. We saw this the previous time, and it was Goris who ended up taking it with the left foot. Owusu Sekir is set up as well. It'll be a two-man wall set up by Toronto. It is Owusu Sekir who takes it this time, headed away. Still loose in the area, played back up. Who wants it? It's off a foot of Imura, and Richmond still with control. There's a header from Yisley, and now a header from Ononye. Will clear it at least out of the 18-yard penalty area for Toronto, but Richmond still with possession. That long ball is blocked down by Manella. There's another go from distance, and it's a shot from Michael Callahan that is well over the goal, and it will be a goal kick for Quillen Roberts. Roberts plays this up forward. Hamilton and Roberts go up. Roberts is able to head it on forward. Osorio with a little bit of a shove there to Owusu Sekir. And we will see the water break here as we reach the half-hour point. And Chantel, that'll give us an opportunity to discuss what's going on here in this first half hour. I would say Toronto has had more of the possession and probably the better scoring opportunities as well. They've
had more in-game scoring opportunities. It seems that the Kickers have been awarded more kind of free kicks or set plays, but they haven't been able to capitalize on it. One thing going forward, when they are getting awarded these chances to set up a set play, the clearance from Toronto FC, they've kind of been getting lucky. It seems like they've been kind of clearing it. It's been dropping in the middle, and I feel like there's been kind of a empty space, and we just saw Callahan getting a shot off because he really didn't have anyone on him. So going forward, they've gotten lucky the last 3 times, but just make sure clearing that it's a lot more clear.
Now, a couple of players that we talked about off the top making their first starts in quite a while. Chris Manella looks like he has really been the calming influence in midfield that Toronto has been lacking for the last month or so.
Yes, and his leadership can't go ignored. It's his first time on the field. I'm sure he has tons of fans here. He was so excited to be playing here, and he is. He's a calming force out there. When the ball gets to his feet, he kind of slows the pace down. He's smart with who he passes to. He makes proper decisions, and him kind of holding in the back and having Chapman up there as kind of a leader as the offensively, it's a nice little mix, and they kind of work well off each other.
Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. We are nearly ready to get back underway here at the Ontario Soccer Centre. It will be a free kick for Richmond to get us going, and it will be Braden Troyer who is going to take it. And he will play it backwards to his teammate Hugh Roberts. William Yambi. Roberts. Didn't like what he sees, circles back. Yambi again. Long ball up, looking for Owusu Sekier, and he is taken off the ball there with a bit of a shoulder check from Mark Anthony Kay. Callahan. Imura with some space to work through the middle. Imura will now carry it out to the left and send it over to a teammate. That's Uriah Bentic. Played in, and Skylar Thomas goes up to head it out. It comes down to Wesley Sharpie, and now with the help of Chris Manella, Toronto will be able to clear it past the midfield line. But Richmond ready to come right back in. Callahan. Yambi. Roberts. Boris. Through ball finds Troyer. Troyer will cross in. Quillen Roberts is there to grab it with the hands and move it up quickly. It's Anthony Osorio. Jordan Hamilton. Chapman. Now Sharpie. Ononye. Okay. Manella. Comes down for Joby. Joby trying to work in against Bentic. Joby's still with it, but he will carry it out. And looking for Jay Chapman. And it's off the foot of Udai Imura, and Richmond will get a chance to counterattack here. Troyer. Goris. Usu plays up. Delicate goes up with a head, but it's Roberts who's right there behind him to scoop it up with his hands. Osorio. Chapman. Chapman up looking for Joby. Does not connect. This pass from Richmond is forcing them back towards their own goal, and now it's played out by Troyer, and that will go out for a corner. This is the first corner of the afternoon for Toronto. A little bit fortunate, you could say, to win this one. But surely they'll take it, and it's going to be Jay Chapman who will run in, taking his time to get there. Sal Bernal will set up very close to Jay Chapman. Two of them will discuss the strategy. Now Chapman will play it right in, and it's punched away by Wara. Manella comes down with it. Mark Anthony Kay there as well. Joby plays that in, looking for Skylar Thomas. It's off the head of Callahan, and things will settle down here. Skylar Thomas will return back to the back line. Osorio on the left flank for Bernal. Bernal try to one-touch through. Nobody home for Toronto. Easily handled by Wara. All USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today.
That was a great ball in by Osorio. Bernal had time. No one was telling him. There was no communication there, but that crossover was quite weak. But I think he must have thought he had someone on him.
Imura. Callahan. Chapman. Bernal. Chapman. Looking for Joby. It's deflected, but Chapman able to run back onto it. Sharpie. Cross intended for Hamilton. A little too high, a little bit too much power on that cross. And it will roll out for a corner, so Luckily for Toronto, not a goal kick. They'll be able to pressure deep in the Richmond territory here, and hopefully for them, maybe look for a turnover to create some offense again. Isley heads that forward, but it's Manella who comes to it. Chapman through for Bernal, misfires, and it will be Wara. Thomas with a push in the back there on the header against Matthew Delicate. And it will be a free kick for Richmond here as we are about 7 minutes away from halftime. Free kick taken quickly. Bentic. That's a deflection. And it will be a corner for Richmond. Third corner of the first half for Richmond. This one's curled in. Imura puts that over the goal.
I thought that was going in. I was like, why is no one going for that? But
it was off the ground, up in the air, over the bar, and probably a little bit more dangerous looking than it actually was for Richmond. Not well hit from Imura. Toronto a little bit fortunate there. He was sort of left unmarked behind everybody else. And a better touch probably finds that in the back of the net. Callahan. Bentic. Callahan. Bentic again. Mark Anthony Kay with a good defensive play there. Gets that left foot out, blocking the pass. This one is out deflected off Kay. Thrown in short. Chapman is there to intercept. Now Manella will clear past midfield. All the way past the back line of Yambi. Yambi will get it back from his keeper, Travis Wara. Long ball played through the middle. Isley. Right flank for Imura. Isley with a header, and it's wide. Correction, it's Matthew Delicate. It's number 7. A cross coming in from Yuda Imura. This is a good ball in from Imura, and Delicate hit it well, just wide.
yeah, Delicate doing a great job getting some sort of his body on it with the header. Dangerous, but not on target. So luckily for Toronto FC, still at zeros.
With 3.5 minutes to go till halftime. I suspect we'll have a little bit of added time, maybe a minute or two. Through ball there looking for Hamilton, intercepted by Troyer. Richmond will push up with Owusu Sekier. Osorio intercepts, and then it's taken down, and it's a foul. And Toronto will get the free kick from their own side of midfield. A little over 3 minutes here until halftime. And now injury here for Fred Owusu Sekier. And it looks like he got the worst of the bargain in that challenge on Anthony Osorio. And as a result, he's now being tended to by the training staff. And once again, some of the players from each side coming over to the sidelines to grab a drink of water. That little bit of cloud cover we had has moved out quickly, and it is once again extremely hot. And I'm sure that just magnifies any type of injury that's sustained on the pitch. Very close to halftime, however. These teams will get a chance to go inside and get cooled off before what promises to be a strong second half. Mark Anthony Kay. Manella. On the right side, finds Sharpie. Sharpie thought about a cross, then thought better. And now we'll play it for Bernal. That rolls through a couple of bodies, but lands right on the foot of Braden Troyer. Braden Troyer will move it forward for the Kickers. Troyer. Mura. Boris. One away by Ononye, and now it's Manella. Bernal, intercepted by Callahan. Skylar Thomas will sky it out to the Richmond back line. Troyer. Imura. Roberts. And now Wara. Quillen Roberts for Toronto. We'll receive it back once again from Wesley Sharpie. Out to the left flank for Kay, and it's mishit by Roberts or misread by Kay, and he had to scramble back for it and deflected out of bounds off of Mark Anthony Kay. Wara. Yambi. Roberts. Troyer.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 4 minutes.
4 minutes about a time here in the first half. There's a strike from distance, and it's gone wide. And it looks at this point, the players on the pitch look quite a bit fatigued at this point with the heat. And I think they're all just trying to avoid making a mistake and get into halftime with this game still scoreless. Hamilton, Chapman, Joby. Now Matthew Delicate will move forward for Richmond. Delicate on that left side. Cross in looking for Yisley. Yisley is able to get it. And Ononye there to provide the defense, pulls him down. Referee waves off any thought of a foul. But a momentary lapse there for Toronto, and it was nearly a prime scoring opportunity for Jason Yisley. Chapman. Manella and Osorio. Mark Anthony Kay. And Osorio once more. Ononye. Skylar Thomas. Wesley Sharpie. Troyer. We're a little over halfway through this 4 minutes of added time in the first half. Giambi. Hugh Roberts and Braden Troyer. Callahan, delicate. Callahan takes a bump there from Chapman, and they're gonna say a foul on Jay Chapman. Free kick will come to the Kickers. 25 yards out maybe. And likely it's played quickly. There's Imura. Imura chips, and it's off the head of Yisley, I believe. And it looked like there may have been some contact with Quillen Roberts. And the Toronto training staff now coming to look at Quillen Roberts. And that would be a big, big loss for Toronto. Their normal reserve keeper, Alex Bono, not with the team today. It is Brogan Engbers, 16-year-old, who is in the backup role today. And you know that it's going to take something very, very significant to have Quillen Roberts come out of the game. Another look here, and he was bumped into by Hugh Roberts. So the two Roberts coming together, a little bit of contact there, definitely incidental contact. Look at Roberts Hugh Roberts had his head up looking for the ball on the cross in and didn't realize where he'd gotten to on the field. Troyer. Chapman knocks that out. And there is the first half whistle. It's a scoreless opening 45 here at the Ontario Soccer Centre between Toronto FC2 and the Richmond Kickers. Toronto had, you would say, the better scoring opportunities. A couple from Jay Chapman. He had the header. He went off the ground and right at the hands of Wara. He had another opportunity taking a pass from Jordan Hamilton, and Travis Wara made an excellent save with the left leg. Those were probably the best two scoring opportunities, the best saves that Travis Wara had to make. At the other side, Quillen Roberts, who is still being attended to in his goal, did not really have to make any difficult saves. I'm not sure he had to make any saves at all, actually, in that first half. The best opportunity for Richmond came off a header that somehow stayed out off the bar and cleared by Quillen Roberts. But Chantel Blais is standing by with Jay Chapman at field level. Chantel?
Make sure to check out
Jay, first half, first time playing with this team in a while. Overall thoughts on that first 45?
I thought for most of it we were good. I think the first 35 we were dictating the pace. We were controlling the game. I mean, it's hot, so towards the end of the half, I think we didn't pick our chances to go forward well enough. It's, as I said, it's hot, so you have to be able to manage the game. And I think at the end, after running for 35 minutes, running the game, we were a little tired, so we just got to take it into half and just reboost so we can come out strong in the second half. And you and Hamilton seem to be having an offensive connection. What do you think the difference will be to get that first one in? Honestly, I think it's just taking our chances well. I had two chances that I should have scored, but it's that's just how football is. So I think if we just keep finding ourselves in good positions, we'll get a goal. Good luck in the second half. Thanks, guys. Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Chantel. So you heard Jay Chapman say it, two opportunities that he would have liked to convert, but he was unable to do so on either opportunity. We will have the first half highlights and recap, and of course the second half action coming up in about 13 and a half minutes. So stay with us for the first half highlights and second half action. You're watching Toronto FC 2 and the Richmond Kickers on Toronto FC Live.
Always try to
gentlemen, at this time, please focus your attention to the middle of the field where we're going to have a 7v7. Orange versus white. Good luck to white. Good luck to orange. Let's cheer them on. 7v7. Come on, fans, let's cheer them on.
I did some charity today for the kids, but I'm used to it, 'cause all y'all charity cases, all y'all stare in my face, I want you to be a replacement. This is snitching on us without no interrogation. I stay silent, 'cause we at war and I'm very patient. Since God is watching, I just hope you're prepared to face him. I'm charged up. I'm charged up. Wow, I'm honored that you think this is stage.
Goal for white. White leads 1-0. Let's cheer on orange to get back into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's cheer on.
Don't jump to conclusions. You boys are getting into your feelings on me. You should embrace it. This could be one of our realest moments. Okay, the flow starting to feel familiar, don't it? Once I remind you that Jimmy got 20 million on it. Me, DJ Cooley, drop a bomb on it. None of them wanted more than I wanted. I seen it all coming, knew they would push a button. Each day hunting, they gotta look for something. Done doing favors for people. 'Cause it ain't like I need the money I make off the feature. I see it's having trouble going gold. Turning into some so-and-sos that no one knows. But so it goes. Come live all your dreams out at OVO. We gon' make sure you get your bread and you know the ropes. I get a ring and I bring it home like I'm Corey Jones. No woman ever had me starstruck, or was able to tell me to get my bars up. I'm charged up. Oh no, we equal. 'Cause ain't about to starve us. Nah. 'Cause ain't about to starve us. I'm charged up. I bought my niggas rollies off and thank me later. Why these boys were stanky.
We've got a couple minutes left. Let's cheer on orange to try to get back into this game and tie it up. Let's let them hear it, folks.
Rumor has it it's something that only I know. Rumor has it I steal the shit with my eyes closed. Rumor has it I either never could. But rumor has it hasn't done you any good. It's sound to the day I die. We going live to keep your shit alive. Cops are killing people with their arms up. And your main focus is trying to harm us. Ain't thinking about to starve us. 'Cause ain't about to starve us. I'm charged up. Y'all take them close to me. She ain't nowhere home when she supposed to be. I'm getting money like I'm supposed to be. I'm getting money like I'm supposed to be. All my close to me. And all the money that I'm supposed to be. The hook got to be. And the chicks in the pit like close to me. That's how I'm supposed to be. Yeah, that's how I'm supposed to be. Yeah, that's how I'm supposed to be. Everything look like it's supposed to be. Pull up to the job and they go up. The girl from the love when they show up. It's not my fault, she wanted for me. She told me it's just a hunger. Came down like a loon. Baby up like a groove. And that's back so damn.
We're down to the last minute, ladies and gentlemen. Let's cheer them on. Orange down by a goal. White leading 1-0 down to the last minute. Let's hear them. And another goal for white. Let's give them both a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to white, but also congratulations to orange. Well done. Let's give it up for orange and white, 77. Let's give it up for under 11, Stony Creek South Fleet. Under 11, Stony Creek South Fleet Soccer Club. Well done.
Yeah, I learned the game from William Wesley. You can never check it. Back to back with it, they didn't get the message. Back to back like I'm on the cover of Lethal Weapon. Back to back like I'm Jordan 96, 97. Whoa, very important and very contentious. When I look back, I might be mad that I gave this attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you visited the new USLsoccer.com? Get the latest news and live stats. Check out the new social media hub. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. Follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider. Join club conversations and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. All USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. TFC2 fans, our next game here at the Ontario Soccer Centre is on Wednesday, August 19th versus Harrisburg City Islanders at 8 p.m. For more information, visit tfc2.ca. That's this Wednesday, August 19th versus Harrisburg City Islanders at 8 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome back the officials and the teams for the start of the second half.
Welcome back to Toronto FC 2 Soccer. Today it's the Toronto FC 2 taking on the Richmond Kickers. We are a few moments away here from second half action. Let's take a look at the highlights from our opening 45 minutes. The first scoring opportunity of the afternoon came off this corner kick. It was a great header off the pitch, off the crossbar, and somehow Quillen Roberts is able to get a hand to it and keep it out. Moments later, Jason Yisley with a right-footed strike, but not able to beat Quillen Roberts from there. Mark Anthony Kay with a cross. Jay Chapman with the header. It's off the turf, and a great save by Travis Wara. And then a few minutes after that, Jordan Hamilton finds Jay Chapman. He waits and waits and waits too long, and it's Travis Wara who's able to get across with the left leg save. And then across from Imura off the head of Matthew Delicate, and that's out. And that's pretty much the best scoring opportunities we had in the opening 45 minutes. Toronto had the better chances, you would say, and we talked to Jay Chapman at the end of the first half, and he said he thought his team was the better in the opening 35 minutes, but then as the half wore on, those final 10 minutes with this heat and really humid today as well, they lost the pace a little bit and were not able to push forward as well as they wanted to in those final 10 minutes. And we saw Richmond start to take it to them a little bit in those final 10 minutes of the opening half. And for Toronto, it'll be their challenge will be to regain that composure, that momentum that they had in the opening half an hour to try and find the first goal of this match. Chantel also spoke to Jay Chapman about his connection with Jordan Hamilton. We spoke about it on the broadcast in the first half, that the offensive connection between those two looks very sharp. The presence of Jay Chapman maybe opening things up a little bit more for Jordan Hamilton than he hasn't really seen too much this season. And we also saw the debut with TFC2 of Boubacar Joby. He's wearing number 61. He showed some flashes of good play on that right side in midfield, pushing up to attack at times as well, and had a tendency to maybe overthink the shots at times a little bit. Might have been well suited to take a shot a couple of times, and instead he tried to dish for a teammate, and it didn't really work out. Quillen Roberts was shaken up at the end of the first half. He is coming back onto the pitch. It looks like he's going to be all right. He's got a towel draped over his head, and he looks like he is going to be ready to run out onto the pitch to resume this second half. Chantel is pitch side with Toronto head coach Jason Bent. Chantel?
Thanks, Matt. Tie 0-0. High intensity first half. Overall thoughts on that first half?
Overall, I think we just need to push the tempo with our ball speed, try and increase the ball speed. We've created a few chances. Jay Chapman was in, Jordan was in. The keepers made a few saves. We also have to be careful with the amount of fouls that we're giving away close to our box. They're quite dangerous on set pieces. I think the referees missed one. I think they might have scored one. So we just got to be focused in the second half.
And with the heat, shall we be expecting any fresh legs out there?
Yeah, within 15 minutes, you'll see a couple.
All right, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Chantel. And can't argue with Jason Bent there that we'll see some subs within the first 15 minutes here. It is, like I said, once again, it is extremely hot as we are underway here in the second half. And Jason Bent mentioning that goal that he thinks the referee may have missed. They may have been scored on. Took a look at the replay during halftime, slowed it down, super slow motion, and we're not able to see definitively how that ball came down off the crossbar. It looks like it landed outside of the goal, not past the goal line, just by the way that it ricochets back up and was able to be cleared by Quillen Roberts. Just a matter of physics. I'm not quite sure it would have been able to have bounced out that way if it had gone down past the goal line. But the Richmond team celebrating. There was some movement on the upper part of the net that it looked like the ball may have found its way in there, but it was the hand of Jay Chapman that had caused the net to move. We're back underway here in the second half, and Toronto is pressing, looking for that opening goal. It's Wesley Sharpie. There's Joby. Joby will try and get across, or at least a deflection, and he has to wrestle through a tackle there. He's still with it. Plays it over for Bernal. Bernal for Hamilton. Hamilton not able to get the shot away. It's still loose in the box. Bernal pushes forward. Hamilton still with it. Toronto still controlling inside that penalty area. Joby takes a swing at it, and it is knocked away. Skylar Thomas pushing forward now. There's Chapman. Chapman. Hamilton. It comes for Bernal, and it's right at goalkeeper Travis Wara. And once again, how does Toronto not convert that opportunity? There were several good chances there, and they were just not able to pull the trigger on a good shot at Travis Wara. Toronto pressing again. Joba and Bernal. And that is played a little bit too far for Wesley Sharpie and out of bounds. And in terms of substitutes that are available in the second half for Toronto, some of the more marquee players available: Mobabuli, Massimo Mirabelli, Manny Aparicio, and Raheem Edwards. And I wonder if Mobabuli might be the first one we see sort of to take advantage of the tired players on the other side. And with his fresh legs and his skill set, that might be, Chantel, a good idea for Jason Bent. We'll see whether he decides to go that way or not. But have to imagine Toronto will try an attacking player first to try and take advantage of those tired defenders.
I agree with you, Matt. Putting Babuli out there with fresh leg, he's smart, he's dangerous on set plays. Why not put him out there, especially with the new additions of Manella and Chapman back out there, kind of see how they connect, because he is doing a good job connecting with these guys on the pitch.
Quillen Roberts shaken at the end of the first half, but as mentioned, it's going to take a lot to get him out of the match this afternoon. There's Callahan. Osorio wins it free. Chapman, free kick taken quickly there by Chapman as it was won by Toronto. Plays up for Bernal. Bernal running to the wrong spot and communicates that to Chapman. There was a little miscommunication there on that play that allows Richmond to start up. I believe this is likely the hottest environment we've had for a match all season here in Toronto, and it is stifling heat right now.
When I was down there waiting for Ben, Sharpie came by. He is from Florida. He said, I didn't think it ever got this hot in Canada. I was like, yeah, well, that's definitely the hottest day of the summer so far.
Yeah, the dog days of August here. And I'm sure with the humidity, we are well into the mid-30s and very little breeze provided today. Sharpie will take this throw in. And we now see the Toronto players down at the to our right warming up. Normally you'd see that a little bit in the first half of the players, the substitutes warming up on the sidelines, but with this heat, surely not wanting to use any excess energy. Okay, Anonye. Skylar Thomas. Or Sharpie. Fans, don't forget to visit the new USLsoccer.com. Get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub. Osorio looking for Chapman there. Pass misfires. And it's taken by Braden Troyer. Back to his goalkeeper, Wara. Long goal kick up. Hoping for Yisley to run onto it. Came close, but Skylar Thomas with the right foot clears momentarily. As played back in. Yisley able to knock down Skylar Thomas, but the ball deflects off the Toronto defender. And now the Reds will look to clear. Not able to do so just yet. Played back by Troyer, but this will go out for a goal kick. Manella. Mark Anthony Kay. Little can-con being played by the Inebriati on the far side of the field. A little tune from Toronto's own The Weekend. Switching up the normal chants that we hear from the Toronto FC2 supporter section. Osorio will swing that out to the left, taken by Anonye. He's got some space as he moves across midfield. Now it's Mark Anthony Kay. He'll swing this in for Joby. Joby able to bring it down. Joby gets it through, but it's blocked by Wara. And nobody there for Toronto as they were all around the perimeter of the area. And Bernal, I think, was the only one close. And goalkeeper Travis Wara a little bit shaken up on the play, limping. And he has been the man of the match so far this afternoon.
Definitely, Wara's not afraid to leave his line, and he comes out there and meets the ball. Had some contact there, and I think it was his knee or the way he planted was a little shaken up. But like you said, he's kept them in this game right now.
That's 3 quality saves from the Richmond keeper. And just in case, we see reserve keeper Ryan Taylor get off the bench and start doing some light jogging as he will warm himself up in case he is needed. Joby, Sharpie, back for Joby, and Sharpie once more. So he works into the middle, crosses out for Kay. Kay looks to swing it in, looking for Hamilton, but it is collected instead by William Yambi. And now, Yuria Bentik. Thomas heads this down, comes to Mark Anthony Kay. He's got plenty of time to decide what to do with it, and makes a pass to Osorio. Chapman. Chapman plays that through. It'll come up to Bernal. Hamilton is in the area as well. Bernal crosses into the box, but Hamilton just a step or two behind that.
And unlike Bernal's cross in the first half that was right at goalie, that was a perfect spot. There was just no one there to run on that load ball.
Imura. Goris, Callahan, Imura. Mark Anthony Kay holds his ground there. Troyer. Usu Sakier. Crossed in. Imura with the header, and it's a goal for Udai Imura. The cross came in from Fred Usu Sakier, and in the 55th minute, Imura gives Richmond a 1-0 lead.
It looked like a defensive breakdown there. Roberts, I'm not sure if he thought that was going to be well wide, but it was not a hard-driven ball, but it was a perfectly placed ball, but there was way too much time given there for them to even get a free shot like that off.
That's the first goal of the season for Udai Imura. And Toronto has gone down for the 3rd game in a row. And the first substitution for Toronto is getting ready on the sideline. It's Massimo Mirabelli. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. Mirabelli has been out since July 28th. He picked up a Charlie horse injury, a calf injury, in that friendly game against AS Roma Primavera. And this will be his first game action since then. And it will be looking to provide a spark offensively for Toronto. And perhaps not surprisingly, it's Buba Joby who is coming out. Fared well in his first match for TFC2, but you can tell the communication and the familiarity with his teammates just not there yet, but obviously the best way to establish it is with game action, so he'll be able to bank that and bring it into training with him moving forward.
Definitely, build from the minutes you're given. He didn't have a disappointing showing at all. There were obviously decision-making errors that he could have and will work on in his practice and going forward, but as his first showing with the team, I don't think it was a bad job at all.
There's Hamilton. Hamilton with some space, curls it, and it's just wide. Good idea there from Jordan Hamilton. He had plenty of space. That was probably the spot where he needed to take the shot from. He just was not able to curl it into the net. I'm not sure he could have carried it farther forward there. There was some pressure from his right side.
It was coming, yeah. He was in a dangerous spot to take the shot, just a little wide there.
So Mirabelli is in, and as we suspected, it might be Mo Babuli. Mirabelli certainly provides some of those offensive attributes that Babuli brings. And now especially that Toronto is down a goal, they are definitely in need of some offense. And Mirabelli will look to take advantage of some tired Richmond defenders. Tired and quite warm.
He has a big body out there. He's not afraid to make the off-the-ball movement to get a connection. And he has played with Jordan Hamilton a couple games, so they are familiar with where each other goes, so they can work off each other as well.
Manella, Chapman trying to work his way in. He goes down, looked like more of losing his balance there than anything else, and the referee waving off a foul immediately. It's a good hard challenge from Ononye. Takes the man down, sends the ball out of bounds. That was Jason Yisley. Give and go with Goris. Swung out for Owusu Sakir. Callahan crossed in and well over the goal. Jason Benton spoke yesterday about there are certain moments where they lose the concentration and that results in them conceding. Do you think that's what happened on the Richmond goal? Definitely.
I'm still kind of confused as to even where the breakdown started, because the crossover, it didn't seem like he would have been offside, but I think that's what they were kind of looking at the linesman for, being like it was offside, but he clearly wasn't. And in any instance, you have to play to the final whistle. It doesn't matter. There should be no time that player outside of the 18-yard box is free to take a free shot like that. This is how the two goals came when they played Pittsburgh. It's just mental errors, and they end up being costly against this young Toronto FC2 team.
This comes down from Mirabelli, played for Bernal, and it's stopped by Wara. Final point on the Richmond goal. Yuda Imura is not a tall man, and when you're going against Emiko Ononye, Skylar Thomas, Wesley Sharpie, you'd imagine that those defenders would be able to win that header.
And there we see Mirabelli doing a great job bringing it down with control, with patience, looking for Bernal, but Bernal an easy shot and an easy save to make.
Everything against Wara so far has been low today. I have to imagine Toronto might be better served trying to get the ball up into the upper part of the net and make Wara have to make a save above his waist.
Definitely. The way Richmond just scored was a perfect spot. It was kind of up in the air, and it hit the meshing, the side meshing. A lot of the time that isn't savable, especially your positioning. I don't think Hugh was in the proper position to be saving that. But if Toronto does start trying to score or shoot even, not low or not aiming for these corners, they may be successful.
Played in by Osorio, a little heavy. Bernal will try to bring that back in, but it's already out of bounds. Second substitute here. It's Raheem Edwards in, and it's Anthony Osorio out.
Number 58, Anthony Osorio. Entering the match, number 48, Raheem Edwards.
And Raheem Edwards has looked strong since his return from the Pan Am Games. He will be credited with an assist on Chris Manella's goal on Wednesday. He literally just rolled the ball to him to get it in motion on that indirect free kick. But he scored a week ago against Pittsburgh in stoppage time. It was a very good left-footed strike. Jason Benton has told us that before. He's got a very good left foot, almost a sneaky left foot. And that can catch defenders off guard at times, and that will be something that he needs to use to create some opportunities.
Definitely. He also has a pace. He's very quick, and when he has the ball on his feet, he is dangerous. People don't expect him to, if they don't know he's a left footer, it does catch them off guard, and that's something that he has capitalized on. So there is some time left, and it would be he's a dangerous offensive force, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do.
About half an hour to go here in Toronto. Richmond Kickers lead by a score of 1-0. Chapman takes down Callahan there.
And who Edwards came on for? Osorio started the game. I think he was more offensively present the first, I'd say, 20 to 35 minutes. And then, like everyone else, the weather is taking its toll, but his showing for the ball kind of died down. So I think putting Edwards out there is better.
There's Imura. That's blocked by Thomas. Imura with all kinds of space to take that shot. That's played in, looking for Delicate, but he is defended well by Skylar Thomas.
And there again, it shows that he still has this space. I'm not sure if they aren't as worried about if we're giving him the shot, but he's proven to be a dangerous offensive player, so I feel like they're giving him way too much space.
Edwards trying to run onto this. He's fighting against Roberts, and Roberts is able to free it up for his keeper. Yisley comes in with a high leg and is able to get the ball away from Chapman. Owusu Sekier for Callahan. Goris. Free kick coming here for Richmond. Goris. Roberts. Goris. Trying a through ball for Imura. Well read by Sharpie. And Toronto will counter with Manella. And now Edwards. Those two played together on Team Canada at the Pan Am Games. Goris. Owusu Sekier marches right in, now finds Yisley. Here's Bentic. One touch finds Goris. O'Callahan. Troyer. Imura. And they're looking for Delicate. Troyer hands it over. Richmond able to keep possession. Bentic. Goris. Chapman will dispossess. Hamilton. Chapman able to save a bad pass from Hamilton, and his pass for Edwards. Not enough power on it, and Callahan intercepts. Here's Yisley. Yisley working in. Yisley with a shot on goal, and easily handled by Roberts. Edwards. Follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider, join club conversations, and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. Wara. Yambi. Goris. Headed down by Ononye. Callahan able to free that up, and now it's going to be a yellow. I believe this is to Chris Manella. And Manella hurt on the play as well. Not really sure I saw anything too malicious there from.
Probably just calling into late contact. The ball was gone. He didn't have the ball on his feet, but it kind of looked like exactly what happened to Manella 30 seconds before a no call was made. So once again, it looks like everyone needs to be getting their water. Mainly just the Richmond side.
A goal from Yuda Imura in the 55th minute has the Richmond Kickers ahead of Toronto FC 2, 1-0. We're now into the 67th. Chris Manella has just received the first caution of the afternoon. Toronto has made 2 substitutions. Massimo Mirabelli and Raheem Edwards have entered the match in favor of Anthony Osorio and Buba Joby. So 3 substitutions remaining for Toronto, 5 remaining for Richmond. They have the lead. And Toronto, for the 3rd consecutive game, is playing from behind. My apologies. Yes, it's the 3rd consecutive game. The previous 2, Pittsburgh and Montreal, in the previous 2 matches, they were also able to find the 2nd goal. So it's important for Toronto to minimize the damage here and perhaps get a late one of their own. Still plenty of football to be played, however. Over 20 minutes left in this match. Isley looking for Owusu, and that is cleared out by Sharpie out of bounds. Throw in by Isley.
Caution is
to Yambi.
by TFC2, number 20, Chris Manella, number 20.
Goris, Callahan, Yambi. Goris, Callahan. And once again, it's Chris Manella down on the pitch. It looks like it's a foot or ankle injury, and the training staff has been called for, and I have to wonder if at this point Jason Benton is considering a substitution. Mobubuli has come to the midfield to enter the match, and we'll see if it's Manella. Manny Aparicio coming in as well. Surely one of them will be spelling Manella at this point.
And Manella passing off his captain band to Thomas, who has been playing captain between him and Q the last couple games with Manella's absence, but
Looks like he's actually taking it to...
Substitution in the 7th
No, it looked like he was pointing at Q, but he's taking it himself.
Number 31.
Sal Bernal is coming out for Mobubuli. Thought he looked all right in spurts today, but perhaps the power and precision on some of his shots and passes just not where they need to be.
yeah, his off-the-ball movement was great. He did get involved offensively, but like we said earlier, the decision-making to either take that shot or make the pass was a little off, and not disappointed in his play. He did get involved, so he should be all right and feel okay about his play tonight.
Aparicio will come in for Manella to try and provide that presence in midfield. And for Toronto, you have to hope the injury to Chris Manella is not significant, but also have to believe that's the only reason why he's coming out of the match today, although he did play the full 90 on Wednesday in Montreal. Babuli was a second-half substitute in that match. Babuli finds Edwards. Edwards just not able to have a good second touch there. But right away, we see the playmaking abilities of Mo Babuli on display.
And right now is where you want to see the urgency for Toronto. Yes, they are on the board, like we said earlier. In the last 2 games in extra time, it's not good enough. You need to start capitalizing and tie this game up now if you want to be able to come away with a win.
And they have introduced 4 substitutes, 4 attacking-type substitutes in Aparicio, Babuli, Mirabelli, and Edwards. Still no substitutes on the Richmond side, and we'll have to see if, as we mentioned, if the 4 fresh bodies to no new bodies for Richmond, if they're able to take advantage of some of these tired players. I'm getting tired up here, just standing in this heat. I can't imagine how they feel down there. As Edwards crosses in, and it's a good dive to the left from Wara. And we might be seeing it already. Toronto is they've been able to get a couple of opportunities here in the last 3 or 4 minutes where they're pushing in through that midfield of Richmond.
You're right, and if Toronto stays patient in the attacking third and kind of waits for the perfect opportunity instead of just kind of kicking or forcing anything, that's when they'll be able to capitalize on this tired Richmond side. We do see the Richmond substitutes kind of stretching and warming up, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some changes in the next couple minutes.
That's a foul by Aparicio on Matt Delicate. Hamilton and Chapman battling there. Edwards able to win it. Babuli unable to run onto it there. It's Troyer who gets back for the Kickers. Lenonier, Thomas, Sharpie. Mirabelli, Babuli right at Wara. There's a rebound for a brief moment. Nobody from Toronto was moving forward to collect it, but a third chance for Toronto. They have really turned the dial up a little bit here in the last 5 minutes.
And that all started from Sharpie back here, who, since being back, is one of the most offensive-minded defenders. So that was a great job. Mirabelli doing a great job with the ball, being patient, passing it over, but Mo Babuli's shot, not dangerous at all. Easy save.
Yeah, I thought Mirabelli has looked very strong since he came on about 10 minutes ago now. Sharpie looking to cross in. No one there for Toronto. Pressure coming from 3 sides there, from 3 red sweaters. But Richmond is able to get it out to midfield. Mark-Anthony Kay will throw in quickly. Edwards, Mirabelli. Edwards will swing it out for Sharpie. Sharpie, cross in, headed, goal! Mo Babuli at the left post converts a beautiful cross from Wesley Sharpie, and Toronto has pulled level off the head of Mo Babuli.
And there again we see Sharpie coming up offensively, perfect cross, and follows that through, low corner.
Edwards was there as well. Edwards looked like he might have missed it with the head. It was off the turf, and Babuli was waiting just behind the defense. It's his 4th goal of the season. That leads Toronto FC 2. And the offensive substitutes for Jason Bent have paid off, and they have found that tying goal with about 15 minutes to play here in this second half. And as we mentioned, importantly, the last 2 games, when they gave up the first goal, they also gave up the second goal. They have drawn level here. And in recent weeks, we've talked about this a lot, and they went through that long goal-scoring drought as well. It seems like when they didn't win a game, they lost the game. They haven't drawn any of their games lately, and that's been in large part because of that goal-scoring drought that they went through in July. But as August has come around, and they've really turned the page on that, and it looks like things are starting to come together a little bit for Toronto.
And getting that goal with still time to play is vital for them to be successful in this game. They're going to kind of, how we talked about early in the game, give them something to build off of. They need momentum. This is the momentum. They have a goal. Let's regain the possession that you had at the first half and just kind of be smart with giving fouls away now. That's what Jason said at halftime. They were giving away stupid fouls. Going forward, just be smart, be patient, and keep having these crosses, and they're working out for Toronto, so if they keep getting Sharpie involved, this will be a battle.
And they've got the crowd involved now. The crowd has been pretty good all afternoon. Unfortunately for them, you could say, they scored right before the scheduled water break, so that sort of zaps the life out of it a little bit, that they're not able to get going again right away to try and build off this. Looks like we're going to see some substitutes from the Kickers coming up. We've got 3 players who have pulled on their uniform tops, and we'll be checking in. We've got number 21, Nathan Schiffman, number 28, Samuel Asante, and number 15, Eli Garner are all ready to come in. And it looks like the referee is going to allow that right now. So a triad of substitutes coming in for the Kickers, and we'll start with Eli Garner. He is coming in place of the captain, Michael Callahan. Callahan handing off the armband to William Yambi. The goal scorer, Imura, also coming out. He's out in favor of Nathan Schiffman. And the final substitute is Asante entering for Matthew Delicate. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. So 3 substitutes made simultaneously by Richmond. They'll have 2 remaining. Toronto has used 4 of their 5. And one of their substitutes, Mo Babuli, has found the back of the net. And he has drawn Toronto level.
Number 14, Yudai Anula. Substitution for Richmond Kickers. Entering the match, number 8.
Sharpie wrapped up there by Yisley. And easy, probably the easiest foul the referee will have all afternoon. Chapman. Renonier. Chapman.
Great switch of play there to Edwards, I believe.
Now Babuli. There's Hamilton. Hamilton works his way into the area. Hamilton still with it. An incredible save by Travis Wara. Jordan Hamilton, with 2 defenders draped on his back, was able to get a left-footed strike away and force a save from Wara, and it results in a corner for Toronto.
Seems to be staying down. I'm not sure if he might be a muscle cramp or just fixing his socks, but shows how strong he is on the ball. He has 2 defenders. He's able to get the shot off. Strong enough shot to award himself a corner, so this will be interesting. I think it will be, is Mo, yeah, will obviously be involved in their set pieces since he's normally successful in those.
It's Chapman who will take it. Played in, off the head, and it's just wide. Oh, that was Amika Ononye, who we don't normally see pushed up, not normally in a good scoring position, and Ononye was maybe a foot or 2 away from giving Toronto a lead.
Him and Skylar Thomas, it's normally Skylar who gets involved in those, but having both of those big bodies up there able to meet the headers in a high distance will be successful for this young team.
And he won that easily. There was no contention around Amika Ononye. He got right up and got that head on it. And now Toronto will have to be careful with all the offense moving forward that they don't let up in the back. And Richmond will press forward for the first time since conceding the equalizer. Bentic. Mirabelli is there to provide some resistance. That's crossed. Curling shot, easily grabbed by Roberts. And with that goal from Toronto, you could see the life in this team has just, it's like they flipped a switch and they are moving forward with much more confidence, much more energy, and much more pace. There's a strike from Edwards, and I think you see right there why he's a normally left-footed striker.
And there he did have a little bit more time. He was carrying it on his right foot, so he did take the shot off in that area. He looked obviously disappointed in his efforts there. It wasn't really a great shot at all.
Mark Anthony Kay takes a boot to the shin there, and he's won a foul for Toronto. Sharpie Mirabelli. Thomas. Sharpie. We're into the final 10 minutes here of this second half. Chapman. Chapman pushing forward. And he's lost it, dispossessed by Goris. And a counter now comes from Richmond. Played through midfield. That's Samuel Asante. Asante with some pace. Asante plays it off to the right side, looking to get it back. Thomas got a foot to it, and now Mark Anthony Kalos makes sure this gets out of bounds.
There again, they got lucky. It was a bit of a defensive breakdown. Unonye stepped up, went in for the tackle, completely missed the tackle, a little touch around him, and now they're to defend a corner.
Corner played in, and it's cleared off the head of Ononye, and now off the foot of Jordan Hamilton, and this will go out of bounds right at the midfield line. Good defense there from Toronto on that corner.
Yep, they were there for first and second ball contact, which you want, and Jordan Hamilton obviously kicked it out, but it was a safe clearance.
Owusu Sekier taken down there by Ononye, nothing called. And Toronto will counter quickly. Here's Raheem Edwards. Edwards loses momentarily. Aparicio, another one of those Pan Am athletes for Toronto FC2. Babuli, the fifth member of that club that went to represent Canada. Sharpie. Sharpie, perhaps looking to cross in again. He does, but first there was the Richmond defender, Roberts. Toronto still with it. Mirabelli. Aparicio. Aparicio crosses in. It's headed away again by Roberts. And now cleared off the foot of Nathan Schiffman. And Quillen Roberts will come down with this well past the 18-yard line. But no trouble for him. The only player pushed forward was Eli Garner, and he was taken out of the play by Ononye. Mirabelli. Aparicio. Aparicio trying to work through. Aparicio, play on, says the referee. Babuli. Babuli looking for a cross opportunity, and he is not able to get around Uriah Bentic, and Bentic has won a free kick. All USL regular season and playoff games are available live free and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. We are just approaching the 85th minute here in Toronto. Matt Antonio and Chantal Blais bringing you this afternoon's game. Toronto FC2 and the Richmond Kickers have drawn level at 1 apiece right now. It was a goal off the head of Mo Babuli that tied the game about less than 10 minutes ago. Chapman. Okay, played in looking for Babuli just as the Inebriati break out the O Canada. And Richmond will counterattack quickly, looking to silence that Toronto crowd. Asante. Asante has shown very good energy and movement since he's come in. Cross in, Thomas will get a foot to it to clear it out. Troyer, Schiffman, played in, Thomas with the head will get it out. Roberts is to it first. Yambi. Bentic. Goris. Kay heads forward for Edwards. Taken by Chapman. Chapman overruns the ball. Babuli. Sharpie. Hamilton. Aparicio. Played in, and Sharpie unable to get there. And it will go out for a goal kick. Not a very good goal kick there from Wara, and Toronto will have an opportunity here as Mirabelli comes down with it uncontested. Chapman. Edwards tries to go up for it. Didn't time the jump properly. And Troyer is able to clear it up, and there's a foul on Raheem Edwards working against Nathan Schiffman. And it's won a free kick for Richmond.
There again, talking about taking silly fouls. You were beat, just get back. Just don't give them the chance to, get some, you can tell they're a little bit tired. Don't give them the opportunity to kind of catch their breath, get their feet back under them. Just be smart and just pass them off if anything. Just make sure to communicate, get back there.
Yambi. Goris. Crossed in by Schiffman, and it's met by the head of Wesley Sharpie. Babuli running back. We'll find Mirabelli, and he takes some contact there, and he's won a free kick. Babuli will bring it forward. Chapman. Mirabelli. Chapman. Sharpie, cross in looking for Edwards. Edwards made contact with Braden Troyer, and the free kick awarded to the Kickers. Late substitutions here from both sides. Mark Anthony Kay will come out, and it's going to be Robert Boskovic coming in.
Entering the match, number 51, Robert Boskovic.
And for Richmond, it will be Ricky Burke coming on for Fred Owusu Sekier. As we are right on the precipice of injury time, does Toronto have an injury time goal for the third consecutive game?
Ricky Burke, entering the match, number 4, Wasu Sikira.
And if there were 4 minutes added in the first half, I might guess there would be 5 or more, probably 5 here in the second half.
Especially, I guess, with Manella, it seemed like it was the first and only injury-ish in the second half. There was a little bit of time.
There's Asante looking for the new sub, Ricky Burke. Does not connect, but it is cleared out by Toronto for 4 minutes again at a time. Corner kick coming here for Richmond. And do they have the late magic? Played in, headed up by Yambi, and well over the goal. And goal kick coming for Quillen Roberts. Mirabelli snuck in behind the defense undetected. That's his second goal of the season. And now Toronto will have to hold on for about 2 minutes. Late game theatrics from Toronto once again. It comes down, and it's just out of the reach of Goris, I believe. There's Asante. And the referee has taken the yellow card out for Mobabuli. It looked more like Asante stepped on the ball there, but clearly the referee saw something a little bit more malicious from Mobabuli. And it's a good spot for this free kick. Goris plays it in, headed out. Comes down, it's deflected, and Thomas was there with the first defense. Roberts was there with the second. The goalkeeper, Travis Wara, was all the way played up. And surprised Toronto didn't try and move that forward more quickly. They've allowed Wara to get back into his goal. Edwards trying to plow through the Richmond defending. Done well there by Burke. We're now past 4 minutes. I think shortly after Quillen Roberts puts this in play, we'll hear that whistle. There it is. It's a late winner for Toronto. It's Massimo Mirabelli. In stoppage time of the second half, Toronto snaps the 3-game losing streak with a 2-1 victory over the Richmond Kickers. And for Richmond, the struggles continue. That's now just 2 wins in their last 11 games. They haven't won in 3 straight. And after taking a 1-0 lead in the 55th minute on a goal from Yudai Imura, Richmond had to be feeling good about themselves. But goals from Mobabuli in the 76th and Massimo Mirabelli in the stoppage time of the first half has propelled Toronto to a 2-1 victory. It's their 5th victory of the season. It's just their 2nd victory at the Ontario Soccer Centre, their 3rd at home overall. They do have a victory at BMO Field. And both of their wins at the Ontario Soccer Centre have been of the extremely dramatic variety. 3 weeks ago against the Charleston Battery, it was a goal from Skylar Thomas off a set piece in the 89th minute that gave Toronto an unexpected win. And today it's Massimo Mirabelli in his first game in 3 weeks, coming back from a Charlie horse injury. And he was able to find the back of the net around the back of the defenders and took a beautiful ball in. The Richmond players were looking around for an offside flag. There was none coming. And it was a thing of beauty for Massimo Mirabelli and the Toronto FC2 fans who sat through a very, very warm Saturday afternoon. And they will go home rewarded as their home side have collected 3 points from the Richmond Kickers. These two teams will meet again in Richmond later in the season. It will be on September 16th. These two teams, as I mentioned, will play again September 16th in Richmond. And where will Richmond be in the standings at that point? It will be a tough task for them going down the stretch. They have struggled lately. Chantel is on the sidelines. Chantel?
Thanks, Matt. Here with Massimo. Massimo, late game heroics. Can you break down that goal for us?
Yeah, it was a beautiful ball by Manu. We always have that connection in the midfield to wide midfield, and he just played a great ball, and I was happy to be in a good spot at a good time and put it away for us.
And the 2-1 victory snapped a 3-game losing streak. How good does that feel?
It's the best feeling ever. This is why we play the sport, and to have moments like this, now it's time to enjoy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Back to you, Matt.
That's Massimo Mirabelli. He has the winning goal in stoppage time. It's the 3rd straight game Toronto has scored a stoppage time goal. However, this time it is a big one as it propels Toronto over Richmond by a score of 2-1. Massimo Mirabelli and Mobabuli scoring for Toronto. Babuli, that's his team leading 4th of the season. And Toronto takes it 2-1 from the Richmond Kickers. We'll be back with you this Wednesday evening. It's an 8 o'clock start as the Harrisburg City Islanders come to town to take on Toronto FC2 as they look for their first ever consecutive victories. That's Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. For Chantel Blay and our entire production and technical crew, I'm Matt Nicolantonio. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Have an excellent Saturday evening. Goodbye from Toronto.